The Riviera Hotel, a venue rich in history with the likes of Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and Liberace, all taking center stage and delighting the masses. Now it's time to find out which of our world-class players will be on song tonight. It's quarterfinal time here at the partypoker.net Whirlpool Masters. Welcome to our last quarterfinal between Mika Immonen, the reigning U.S. Open champion, and Dennis Orcollo, the rising star from the Philippines. Up for grabs, a place in the semifinals, and a date with Darren Appleton. But first, let's have a look at the tournament thus far.
Nick Vandenberg has proved to be the surprise package in this year's tournament. He took out the defending champion in round one and local hero Archer in the quarters. Shane Van Boning is flying the flag for the host nation, but it was a tight call against Drago next time out. Darren Appleton, the current 10-ball champion, came through a nail-biter with Ralph Souquet and deservedly takes his place in the last four. Who will he now play? Orcollo is a rising star back in the Philippines, but he faces former world champion Immonen, who is only too aware of the task ahead of him.
I'm up against Dennis Orcollo, and he's really one of the fine Filipino players. He's really been in top form the past 2-3 years, and I know I'm going to have to play my A game if I want to beat him. Going into this match, I feel very calm. I think I want to be a little bit more nervous because I'm too calm right now. So hopefully, by the time we enter the stage, it's gonna, be a little boost of adrenaline and all that stuff. So I'm definitely gonna be excited. I'd like to see myself winning the tournament, and that's always gonna be a goal. But I really, at the same time, have to focus on just one match at a time. And right now, the main task is to beat Dennis.
This is the partypoker.net Whirlpool Masters, brought to you by Matchroom Sport. It's the quarterfinal stages, 16 came and only 8 remain. Here's our players. Ladies and gentlemen, would you firstly please welcome the former Whirlpool League champion from the Philippines, Dennis Orcollo. And ladies and gentlemen, from Finland, the former champion of the world and the reigning US Open champion, it's the Iceman, Mika Immonen.
It's Europe versus Asia. Dennis Orcollo against Mika Immonen. Another heavyweight quarterfinal in this, the partypoker.net World Pool Masters. In this tournament, when it comes to the opposition, there really is nowhere to hide.
First rack, Mika Immonen to break.
Mika Immonen breaks off, having won the lag. Tried to go one better than last year when he was runner-up in the event. He'd left to get his hands on the trophy.
Terrific opening break here, Phil.
So then, Mark, you know these players inside out. Give us the scouting report on these two.
Oh, well, Immonen probably will get the check mark on the break side of it, and also the check mark on the shot making. Needless to say, both these guys are above average pros in all skill sets. But if you had to rate them between each other, I would lean towards defense for Orcollo, creativity, mental toughness, and kicking game from his rotation background I'd give to Orcollo. So I would make him a slight favorite in this.
Like all of our quarterfinals, I personally think this is so difficult to call. We saw the last one, it basically came down to a single roll. Appleton against Ralph Souquet, and this could also go to the wire as well.
Nicely played, real first shot. I'll tell you, the key for Mika to win is to get his potent fast break offense going early in this match. There's kind of two distinct sides to Immonen. It's when he leads or is close, he's very tough, but sometimes when he's training, he's prone to lose intensity, Phil. a very confident ball pocketer, as we've seen all week.
And what a way to start this will be.
We've seen quite a number of break and runouts already in this event.
But a good start doesn't mean necessarily a good finish. Look at what happened in the previous match. Ralph Suke 3-0 up on Darren Appleton, playing superbly. In the end, he was beaten. But here, it's the Finn who draws first blood against the Filipino. Immonen 1, Dennis Orcollo 0.
Rack 2, Mika Immonen to break, leading 1 rack to 0.
Mika Immonen approaches the table for the start of rack 2, thinking to himself, well, more than happy with exactly the same as the first rack.
Once again, he's had cut break success. Not blessed with much of a shot on the one ball, however. Hard to tell if he's going to have to push out here or he can play a defensive shot. It does not appear he has much of an offensive shot available. Did not intend to make that ball. That was a straightaway safety. Trying to bring the cue ball down behind the colors. It wiggled in off the 2 ball.
Well, he can see the 2, but can't see anywhere near enough to pot it.
These are these tricky little situations too, because trying to control the object ball from a thin hit as well as the cue ball, very difficult. Opting to just go for distance here. Now we get Dennis Orcollo's first inning at the table. He's a well-rounded money player, toughened from relying on money game match play to support his family. And he's a confident and fearless competitor that will fight for every ball regardless of the score.
Yes, if you're a leading Filipino pool player, it naturally follows that you're a leading pool player anywhere in the world, because it is such a powerhouse of the game. He's in the top 3 over there, and to get into that kind of status, you've got to have so many skills.
There's quite a number of players that just do not have the economic ability to come over that would make a serious impact in the standard of world play. It's a sport that is promoted by the government of the Philippines, and in so doing has created quite an interest over there, and perhaps is their national sport, and they're very proud of it.
Yes, Orcollo began playing the game when he was only 9 years of age. Potted balls at a pool room that was run by his grandfather. Ever since, it's been his life.
Nice 3-cushion kick to contact and make a legal hit.
And they know all about Mika Immonen in the Philippines. For a variety of reasons, he's had some tremendous performances over there. I think the pick of them, he might even pick this himself. 2003 Philippines Open, he beat the great Efren Reyes in the final 13-12 after trailing 10-4. Got an awful amount of satisfaction from that, and rightly so.
To go into Efren's home turf and emerge victorious is really saying something. It's a serious pro Reyes crowd there, and if you're even caught walking through the airport holding a cue, the first thing the armed guards will ask you is, do you know Efren Bada? And that will buy you some liberty there if you get in trouble and you know him. I love the way Immonen's been pocketing balls in this event. Great deal of shot-making confidence. He's getting off the mark here.
Yes, with those lengthy, bitingly cold winters in Finland, Q sports are a good thing to take up. Can't be interrupted by the weather.
No, it actually perpetuates interest because there's a limited amount of things to do.
A former world under-21 snooker champion came from Finland. A lad by the name of Robin Hull. He was a very good player. Illness derailed his professional career, and if you're listening, Robin, hope you're okay now and things are going well for you.
I love the professionalism that Immonen brings to the sport in terms of his athleticism, and he goes all out to be the best player he can possibly be, and has done so for many years now. Perhaps no one more athletically trained.
Well, they call Dennis Orcollo a Robocop. At the moment, he's the one with the handcuffs on. It's because Immonen leads 2-0.
Welcome back to the last quarterfinal in the World Pool Masters. Mika Immonen against Dennis Orcollo. It's the man from Finland who leads, having taken the opening 3 racks. Orcollo struck back in the 4th as we get back to the action at the start of the 5th.
Rack 5. Dennis Orcollo to break, trailing 1 rack to 3.
Okay, here we go then. Rack number 5, and for the first time we're going to see the break-making skills of Orcollo. Small man with plenty of power.
We'll see the head lift on this break. Gives him a little extra power because he can get some more clearance in there and add length to his swing. A legal break, pocket of ball, presented with a long 1 ball. Got a little angle here. Looking where the cue ball is going to drift out to and make sure that he secures a shot on the 2 ball.
Yes, and shape here with 4 balls on the right-hand side of the table as we look at it is by no means guaranteed.
So you don't need to use your extension.
If he misses this, I predict it will be because he hits the object ball too full in an effort to hold the cue ball. This is a very precise shot. Try to hit the fat part of the pocket. Just the problem.
Good call, Mark. That was always going to be the case. He was just trying to keep on that 2 ball, and that pot in itself was troublesome enough, let alone when you're aiming for what was effectively half a pocket. And so Immonen back at the table. Unexpectedly, I'm sure.
Collided heavily with the 6 ball, but it bounced up off the end rail, and he has a thin cut, but a tricky position play. The thin cut on the 2 by itself is doable, but the game position also complicates this threefold. And now it's just a question of what degree of bad is it going to turn out. Once he landed heavily on the 6, that slowed the cue ball down. Looks like he can just brush the object ball over here on the cushion.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. The secondary contact with the green there was to his benefit.
Bad call on my part. The 3 is straight in the side. I was thinking the 3 was down on the side cushion. And Immonen is total control now.
routine from here, Mark, really.
I think rather than one cushion, we'll see a 3-cushion position down to the end rail and up to the side cushion. 1, 2, and 3. Well played. Gives him a great deal of leeway with his speed. That way he's always attacking the line of the shot on the 7 rather than coming across it. Clearing up the balls freely and nicely. Good pace and good tempo.
And the post-mortem on this rack, well, doesn't need much dissecting. It was the missed 1 ball from Dennis Orcollo. He was made to pay for it. Immonen came to the table, and it's now 4-1.
Rack 6, Mika Immonen to break, leading 4 racks to 1.
Immonen in control. Only 1 break and run out so far from him. That was in the opening rack. He'd like to make it 2 here, but it's highly unlikely now.
And the 9 ball's drifted near the corner pocket, making a short rack here. A great likelihood down the road. This is going to be tricky to play. There's not much of an opportunity here for him to push out to a shot that's really going to be palatable. He's going to go ahead and play a kick rather than a push. Can't say that I really envy his position. You certainly hate to kick the 1 ball down table by the 9, because even if you leave Orcollo locked up, he may make some kind of an aggressive play at the 9. So he opted to go with soft speed, and that was an extremely well played outcome of a shot. That was calculated, that was not random. Tell by the speed that he chose that he was hoping for just this type of result. But a tactical game fits right into what Dennis Orcollo trains for with all his rotation experience. This would be what I would consider to be his specialty. He may have left an open 1 ball into the side. Well, he did. You can clearly see it now.
Now that's uncharacteristic. It really is. Orcollo unusually struggling.
Well, Mika's speed was a little questionable there. He certainly didn't want to get it this close. He would have liked to have had just a little bit more clearance. He examined it. He must have just enough then. He appears to be comfortable over the ball. And he is. Hoping for a little bounce here. He can pull the cue ball back down for a 4-9 combination to win this frame. Does play a little bit awkwardly though. Scratch, miss. Yep.
Ball in hand.
It was just that funny angle. When you ramp up the speed going down the cushion like that, makes the pocket play very snugly. And you probably only have a half a pocket at that point. This is going to be a cheap win for Dennis.
Yes, Mark, and you're always looking for turning points in matches, aren't you? And maybe that's going to be the turning point here.
Huge. Big turn of events.
4-9 combination. Dennis Orcollo was in danger of being 4 racks behind. As it is, he's only 2 adrift. Immonen, 4-2 ahead.
Rack 7, Dennis Orcollo to break, trailing 2 racks to 4.
The intention here for Orcollo trying to win back-to-back racks for the first time in the match.
Good square hit on the rack and got quite a bit of ball action. As you can see, most of the balls moved to the other end of the table. But the balls are not going in nearly as freely today as they were on our first day. And you can definitely see the disappointment here.
Yes, I thought for a split second there, the last ball rolling, the 7 was just going to tipple into the middle pocket. Stopped a fraction of an inch short. 1-6 combination from Immonen, and he's off and running again.
Smoothly played. Combinations are just so darn tough, you know, when your margins of error are greatly reduced compared to when you just go cue ball, object ball, pocket. Cue ball, object ball, pocket. Probably triples the difficulty, if not more in some instances.
Yes, it's not getting rid of the middleman, it's inserting one. Has to be said, he wasted a chance in the previous rack. Will he make the most of this one?
Three ball goes in the corner, and the 4 should go into the same corner that he's playing the 3. And then the 5 is up there between the 7 and the 8, which are in the middle of the table. He will use a little bit of backspin, pull the cue ball back. Seven ball hanging in the side pocket, just wants to bounce out from the cushion just a little bit. Nice pace around the table as he goes through these balls. Now he's debating not whether he's going to make the 7. He just wants to see how he's going to negotiate the cue ball between the 9. Does he want to try to roll it and hold it for the 8, or does he want to bring it to the end rail between the 8 and 9 and then bounce back up? Perfect. See how he's played this nice angle that lends itself to the cue ball going right back down for the 9 next. A natural angle rather than fight the angle. Let the cue ball go where it wants and just control the speed.
Yes, and losing the previous rack was an obvious disappointment for Mika Immonen. His response could not have been more positive. 5-2 in front.
Mika Immonen has stemmed the Orcollo fight back in this World Pool Masters quarterfinal. It's 5-2 to the man from Finland. He's now just 3 racks away from a place in the semifinals.
Rack 8. Mika Immonen to break, leading 5 racks to 2.
It's getting to the point in the match where Dennis Orcollo has serious concerns.
One ball in the side pocket.
Legal break.
Appears that the 2 ball was kissed to the side cushion.
Yes, says Marquez, the referee calls an illegal break. You'll see why. Only the 3 went over the head string, the 1 in the pocket. 1 and 1 equals 2. The equation, it must add up to 3. Control passes to Orcollo. And with a clear shot at the 2, that must have hurt Mika Immonen.
Now Dennis is asking for the cue ball to be cleaned.
Well, that is, Mark. When he played the 2, he had a very heavy contact. In snooker, even under the best of conditions, quite often matches are blighted by what we call kicks, and we haven't seen too many of them here, but they do occasionally crop up.
Yeah, about 1 shot in 100 you'll get what we call a skid or a kick. And it's believed that when the cue chalk residue from the tip lands on the cue ball and then that turns over and lands on the contact point with the object ball, that is the cause, although it's never been proven.
Extension.
Well, this is the big shot of the rack now. Down the cushion with the 3-ball, and then hold it for the 4-ball next. Four-ball on the end rail, it appears. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Now the 5-ball is just up the table from the 4. So if he has a clear go at it, this will just be a stun and slide up between the 9 and the 5. Beautiful.
Just going back to the kick, Mark, he must have had a very bad contact because he knew full well that by cleaning the cue ball, that was eating into his first 40 seconds, and therefore he had to take his extension right there and then because of the cleaning of the white. And so he felt it necessary to do so. He didn't want another bad contact, and that's why he took the extension when he did.
I personally think that it was a little bit more than that, even, that he wanted the moment to collect himself, to psych himself up to make that tough shot down the cushion, because he knew it was the determining shot of the entire rack, perhaps.
Yes, good point. It was a sort of 2 for the price of 1 deal.
Right. And these guys, you know, they're so familiar with that circumstance that they utilize every little edge they can get. Well, he's going through this rack nicely now.
Unusually needs the bridge to pop the 9-ball, but I'm sure that won't be any kind of problem. No, and so Dennis Orcollo has not been on top form in this match. He knows that, so do the crowd, but he's still in there fighting. He trails 5-3.
Rack 9, Dennis Orcollo to break, trailing 3 racks to 5.
Still trying to win successive racks. Can he do so here and intensify the pressure on Mika Immonen?
A lot of care in the aim on this break shot for these players. Accuracy really supersedes power. If you're not accurate to the 1-ball, there's no sense hitting it harder. You're going to not get much result. A square hit, a full contact on the 1-ball, or a total eclipse of the 1-ball as the cue ball approaches it is what produces the most ball action. Once again, a dry break, nothing went down. Mika steps to the table with a great opportunity here. A good straight in shot on the 1. 2-ball will be a bit long, but not a problem, and especially as confidently as he's been playing the balls.
And now they are, if not ideally positioned, very inviting.
You really love opportunities like this in a pressure match because it gives you a chance to get up there and get your arm loose and kind of regain your composure and control of the table. Gives you a chance to get the feel for the speed. You know what's an interesting thing is that speed control is not an issue of judgment. It's an issue of a repeating swing. When you have a consistent stroke, then it's much easier to hone your judgment. When you have an erratic swing, and I'm talking in very precise terms here, then you never really get defined or can get enough structure or consistency to get the feel for the table. And that's why you could have a table of your own, playing it for years. Efren Reyes could stop in your house in 15 minutes, have better speed control on your table than you do, which would make no sense otherwise. Roll ahead, bounce out. This is very routine from here.
Yes, we've used the word speed in this rack. He's not exactly speeding to the winning line, but he's getting there.
And yeah, he's got a nice pace to him. He's not dawdling, but he's still got enough composure to go through his checklist of things to do before each shot, which is set up, decide what kind of a shot you're going to play, aim it, set, a couple practice swings, and go. Center of the side cushion, drop off that nicely.
Every time that Dennis Orcollo begins what looks like a fight back, Immonen replies. He's 6-3 ahead. He needs 2 more racks to go through to the semi-finals of the PartyPoker.net World Pool Masters.
Mika Immonen to break, leading 6 racks to 3.
The wish list for Mika Immonen as we start rack number 10. Just back-to-back break and run-outs. That would do him fine.
But right now, he's going to start with just making the ball on the break would be just great. He's very disappointed about that.
Dry break, wry smile. And I'll tell you what, the preponderance of dry breaks has definitely increased. It's more than a statistical anomaly. It's definitely increased over the last few matches.
As the tables get broke in, the cloth is not very forgiving. Slows down just a hair. Makes ball pocketing that much more difficult. When the cloth is new and slick, it allows the ball to kind of glide in, just bumping the rail slightly going in. As the cloth gets broken in, there's a little bit more friction.
Yes, we had that at the World Snooker Championship this year. The cloths on the tables and on the cushions were replaced more often over the 17 days than ever before. And the result was a record number of century breaks compiled. The previous record was 68. In 2002, 2007, and by the time we'd reached the semi-finals this year, that record had been shattered.
But more than just the cloth, don't you think the average standard's a little bit higher as well?
Yes, but this year at the Crucible, there's no doubt at all in my mind, the pockets were playing a lot more generous than in previous years, particularly off the far jaw. And players knew that, and they felt comfortable with certain shots down the rail that they might otherwise have refused. What we're talking about here, still tight pockets in relation to club tables, but just a little more generous than in previous years. Poor old Mark Selby, a former World 8-ball champion playing under English pool rules. Mark Selby in the quarterfinals made 5 century breaks and lost the match.
Oh my goodness. That would be a lifetime for many players to make 5 century breaks. Well, he's falling a little bit short here. We may have to see a bank shot or a super thin cut that would leave the cue ball very hot. If he could back cut and fan the 6 ball back up into the side pocket. I think we're going to see a bank shot. This is the shot that you don't want to miss short. You'd rather miss it long going across the side too far beyond the pocket. As you cut across that, it puts the wrong twist on there. Well, the crowd applauds, but the position's treacherous. He hit the point on the corner and bounced back up, and he's awfully straight in now. So this is the remainder of this rack is going to be shot making only. If he tries to spear this in with power, it makes it, yeah, he's going to elevate and just stop. That's all he could do, and now super tough shot coming up here, Phil.
Well, super tough under any circumstances. He's 6-3 down, remember. This could be his last shot of the tournament.
Well, this kid's a killer, and he will take this shot on with complete conviction. Excellent shot. Excellent shot.
Tremendous 8-ball. The 9 to follow. Dennis Orcollo just won't go away. He's still in there punching. He trails though to Mika Immonen by 6 racks to 4.
Dennis Orcollo attempting to catch Mika Immonen in this World Pool Masters quarterfinal. He's narrowed the gap to just 2 racks, but it's the Finn who is closing in on that magical winning figure of 8.
Rack 11, Dennis Orcollo to break, trailing 4 racks to 6.
Throughout the match, Dennis Orcollo has been playing 9-ball pool and he's been playing catch-up, and successfully so far. Can he halve the deficit here? Well, no illegal break. The 8-ball has gone in. There is a pot on the 1, but awkward queuing.
Confronted with another difficult layout, but he just went through a world-class run-out to get to this point. So that last 8-ball, we just can't say enough about it. That was you better be a lifetime master to even attempt the run-out he just made. And part of what compounds the difficulty here is that if he makes this ball, he's facing yet another very, very difficult task. So you really have to remove that from your mindset when you're playing the 1 ball here.
Yes, looking at the 2-4 combination, Mark, is he?
Yes. It's hard to play a tough shot to go to yet another tough shot, and you know it going in. No matter what you do, it's going to be tough. It's easy to kind of get into a little bit of a give-up stroke, or where you don't have a complete commitment to this shot. Rolled it in, hit a little heavy. Left Mika a bank. Mika doesn't have to take this bank on with it's not a bet the whole game on the shot. He's going to be able to get some distance with the cue ball here, and may choose to not even play the bank shot, may just go straight away safety. He played the bank shot, made it, got the cue ball out off the cushion, and the combination, this is probably the best angle to play the combination from. This rack would put Mika on the hill if he could run out from here. 2 balls gotten away from him, and now he's going to have to play a defensive shot.
Yes, for a moment there, Mark, I thought he might have lucked out and left himself a 2-7 set, but that's not the case.
So hard to control that 3rd ball in a combination. Good judgment here. Total conservative, just control the cue ball with a stop shot, let the 2 ball go down table. He's the beneficiary of a very good defensive shot. Dennis jumped up, grabbed his jump cue just as confident as could be that he could just hop right over this no problem. So I guess the close proximity is no problem. Legal shot. Mika, I don't think he's going to be happy with this result. The balls all move forward, and somehow the 3 balls blocking the 2 ball, at least partially.
There are times, Mark, when you have to rely on good fortune.
Mika could hit the side of the ball. Made an aggressive play there. Couldn't fault him for his shot selection. And when you say rely on good fortune, you have to earn that. You have to be at the table to get good fortune. You can't be a bad player and get lucky enough. You have to be a great player, and then good fortune might mean something. A billiard shot, 2-9, got a double kiss, and did not provide enough energy onto the 5 to drop in. You could hear the double kiss as well, Phil.
When the balls came to rest there before the shot that Orcollo took on, Immonen, his expression suggested that he was certain Orcollo would be successful with that, and he wasn't. So what a bonus for the Finn.
There was a little extra pressure there because he knew the referee was right behind him, and he didn't want to kind of allow himself to be subject to an interpretation. So he tried to hit a little bit heavier and gained a little bit of a double kiss. He could actually hit the ball a little bit thinner, got more energy on the object ball. that did not fall into the pocket. But in an effort to prevent a foul, he played a bit more conservatively. Now Immonen is presented with yet another great opportunity.
Six, 7, 9 should be plain sailing. Running side of 2 cushions, ideal.
Stop shot in the side, perfect for the 9-ball in the corner. Minimal cue ball movement.
Immonen finds himself on the hill. Dennis Orcollo finds himself in big trouble. Immonen 7, Orcollo 4.
Mika Immonen to break, leading 7 racks to 4.
Will rack number 12 be the one that transports Mika Immonen into the semi-finals of the PartyPoker.net World Pool Masters?
Well, great start. Legal break, ball in, shot on the 1. This was a dream start for Mika. He was hoping for this a bit earlier in the match, and he didn't receive it, but this time, perhaps at the most crucial juncture of the match, a great opening. Ramped it up with warp speed, got all the way down table to the end rail, rather than not fall perfectly straight in. It is pretty straight. I believe he will follow ahead. 2 cushions. Good judgment.
Well, Mark, he started off, this match in the very first rack with a successful break and run out. I wonder whether he's going to finish off in exactly the same manner. And if he does, it's going to mean 3 Europeans in the semi-finals.
Six ball over the side pocket. Nice stroke there. His arm is certainly limber at this point. His confidence is sky high. And this shot, perhaps the last big hurdle. Just a little bit off angle too. This is not easy, but certainly plays better when you've been at the table for a while.
Avoids the cue ball going under the cushion rail. It's looking mighty good for Mika now.
It's always pure class when you end up with a break and run out. It really shows world-class pool. Finish it up clean.
Filipino hopes, Asian hopes in the World Pool Masters have just been extinguished. Last year's runner-up is through to the semi-finals of the 2009 PartyPoker.net World Pool Masters. That's because Mika Immonen has defeated Dennis Orcollo by 8 racks to 4.
The final stages of the World Pool Masters taking shape. Shane Van Boening and Nick Vandenberg clash in the opening semi, while Mika Immonen, after that impressive win over Orcollo, faces Darren Appleton. But for the moment, it's the man from Finland who is left to reflect on a job well done.
I was breaking really good. I had I made some terrific runouts, and I felt like, his hard break wasn't working from the side rail, and I got an early lead. And I felt like if he doesn't change something on his break, he's got no shot to win this match. So I felt comfortable the whole match, and played good and deserved the win.
So a great result from Mika Immonen that guarantees his spot in the semifinals and a match against Darren Appleton. Join us next time for our first semifinal. The American #1 Shane Van Boening takes on the reigning European champion Nick Vandenberg in the PartyPoker.net Whirlpool Masters here in Las Vegas.